Jenna and today I'm here doing a book review of A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. This book is the third book in the Court of Thorns and Roses series and it's technically the final book in this little trilogy. Sarah has announced that she has plans to expand on this world and is releasing like 3 more novels and 2 novellas I think in this world, but they're not going to be focusing on the same characters, or at least I'm pretty sure they're not focusing on the same characters. Not entirely sure yet. She hasn't really announced any of that because she said that announcing it would, you know, spoil this book, but I am so super excited for those books, just like I was so ridiculously excited for this one. I'm so glad that I read it now because it was so good. This is going to be a spoiler-free book review, so if you haven't yet gotten your hands on A Court of Wings and Ruin, don't worry, you can watch the entirety of this video without fear of being spoiled. I'm not going to give much of a blurb to this book as it is the third book in the trilogy, so I don't really want to spoil anything, but basically this series follows around a girl named Feyre who ends up in the fairy world of Prithian and is in the middle of a war, and I'm just gonna leave it at that because I don't want to spoil anything. Like, I don't really want to give you the blurb of the first book, but I don't want to spoil anything from this book, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. So can I just say I'm like really mad that this came with sticker on it and I took off the sticker and look, I don't know if you can see, yeah, it like left all this sticky stuff. I don't know how to get it off. And it's like collecting things. I'm just, ugh. Okay, so first up I wanted to talk about the writing style of this book. Now Sarah has an incredible writing style. Her writing is so descriptive and beautiful and like, oh my goodness. I was just completely entranced when reading it. I didn't want to look away. I had to look away a couple of times because of reasons, but I didn't want to. It was a really captivating way of writing, and I think that she pulls off, I don't want to say that it's lyrical, but it's very descriptive and it really, really paints the picture of what it is that you're seeing. And it definitely, it's told in first person perspective, so we're seeing everything from Feyre's perspective, but through that she was able to give us other people's like insights, and we really knew all of these characters just from the way that she wrote this story, and I think it was absolutely beautiful the way that she did. The world building in this book, not just this book but in this series in general, has been incredible. So in this book though, we go to many corners of Prithian that we haven't been to yet. We've heard about them a lot in previous books, but we hadn't actually gone to them yet. So in this book we go and see more of the courts, which is amazing, like getting to see all the different courts and then sort of getting to, you know, compare them in your own mind to other courts that you already know about was just so incredible. I absolutely loved seeing it. Some of the courts, I think the day court would probably have to be my favorite. It was just, oh, it was beautiful, and I like it. Like, I was imagining it so vividly in my head because of the way that Sarah writes and describes everything, and it just, I really want to go there. I want to go to the night court more, but like I really want to go to the day court as well. I think that'd just be like mwah. Speaking about the characters of this one, we meet a lot of characters in the flesh that have been talked about in previous books, but we hadn't met them previously. So getting to really meet everyone meant that it was really like an expansion on the world, and I absolutely adore that. There were a lot of people who we've heard mentions of in previous books and they showed up in this book, which I thought was really magical and just a really nice way to end out the trilogy, because of course it was a finale. You kind of have to, you know, wrap everything up but still leave enough questions unanswered because she's planning on continuing the series in this world, and she nailed that, by the way. Like, it was so good. I sort of want to talk about the core characters in this. So of course our main character is Feyre, and she has her character development, all right, from like book 1 to book 3. Holy moly, it's one of the best character developments I think I have ever seen in my life. So somehow Feyre has turned from this character that we knew her in the first book into this amazingly kick-ass protagonist that we follow in the third book, and all of her decisions, you're just watching her and you're like, wow, you go girl, yes. Cannot do a Aka War review without talking about my fave boyfriend Rhysand, who finally I read a book like for the first time and called him Rhysand the whole way through. So I just loved it so much. He's so amazing. Again, he had so much character development as well, and to sort of see him in this book was just really beautiful. Had some really nice moments, had lots of Faysand moments. So yeah, it was a really nice like sort of thing. And then of course we had all of the other characters. So we had more Lucian. Speaking of Lucian though, we actually got to see a lot more of him in this book, and I really like him. I've always sort of liked him as a character, even after the events that took place in Akamath, but I think that in this book he gets sort of a redeeming story arc, and his story arc is just like, I loved it so much. And I sort of messaged my friends when I was reading it. I was like, does Lucian have like a redemption arc yet because I need this to happen. And of course we also have Tamlin, who is from the Spring Court, and oh my god, I have gone through such a roller coaster of emotions when it comes to Tamlin. Like, I loved him, and then I hated him, and then I kind of liked him again, and then I hated him some more, and then I kind of still hated him but kind of liked him at the same time. And I still don't know where I stand on Tamlin. I don't know if I like him or if I don't like him. Like, I'm so confused in my emotions of this one character, and that is like a really awesome thing that Sarah has done, because every time I think of something Tamlin does and I'm like, no, I hate him, then I think of something else that he's done and he's like, no, I actually kind of like him, and I just don't know how to feel. Like I mentioned before, we have Moore, who we learn more about in this book, and that's just absolutely amazing. We also have Asriel, Cassian, Elaine, and Nesta, all of whom have gone through really tough trials in the first two books, so to see them come up again in this book, especially Elaine and Nesta, who are Feyre's sisters, they have gone through a lot of trauma in the last book, and so they're trying to deal with that in this one. It was really well done. Like, the characters were so fleshed out, so well thought out, and really changed from book to book, and this everything about them in this one was just amazing, and I have nothing bad to say about the characters at all in this book. So when it comes to the plot of this one, I was really worried coming into this book because of the way things left off in Akamath and what sort of happened to Feyre and Rhys and everybody. I was really worried about how that was going to translate into Akawar, yet Sarah managed to do it beautifully. So we were only spent like the first 100 pages with me really worried and wondering what was going to happen, and then page 128 happened. Like, well, everyone who's read it will know what happened on page 128, trust me. And from then on I was just like, this is amazing. And right from the beginning of the book, you know straight away what the plan is, you know where they're going with this and what they're trying to do, and I think that that's something really special because you don't really get that a lot in books. You sort of kept guessing, and while I was sort of kept guessing, at the same time a little part of me in the back of my head was going, wouldn't this be really cool if that happened at the end? Like, wouldn't this be great if it happened at the end? And then it did happen, so like I kind of knew what was going on. But there were definitely some huge twists, turns, and reveals in this book that I just did not see coming by like a long shot. My friend Jacinta read the book before me and she messaged me, she's like, oh, let me know when you get to the meeting because there's a reveal and you'll know what one I'm talking about. I found it. Oh man, that was just like, wow. Without giving away any spoilers, I do just want to say that I got to a point in this book where I was crying so much that I couldn't see the pages through my tears, and I actually had to put the book down for 5 minutes so that I could like calm down before I finished it. It was that good, but that shattering. Like, it was emotionally scarring. I remember finishing the book and messaging my friend who was still reading it going, stop reading now, it's a trap. You don't want to keep going. But of course she did, and then she messaged me afterwards and was like, why didn't you stop me? I'm like, I tried. So yeah, it's definitely a very emotional book, but the plot is just really fast paced and it sort of moves in this really, you know, forward fashion, but it's very faithful to the first two books as well, while being its completely new thing. The plots of these books have just changed so much, and I don't really know how else to describe that, but yeah. Plot was good. All in all, I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely adored it. I still, at the time of filming this, I still actually haven't written my Goodreads review of it, simply because when I finished the book, all I could say was, can't talk too many feels, but it's been a couple of days now. I think I finished it last Friday, so it's Wednesday now, so it's been 5 days now-ish, so I'm a little more emotionally stable, so I'm planning on going and writing that review very soon, but I thought I'd sit down and film the review as well. Let me know in the comment section below if you have read Akawar and what you thought. I would absolutely love to know. Also, let me know who your favorite character is, because I think you all can tell by now my favorite character is Rhysand, but I actually really like Lucien as well, and I'm really curious to see if anyone else does. If you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Stay random. Bye.